Hi everyone, I'm Phaedra from Phaedra Gardeness, and in today's short video I am going to give you a lot of information about Campanula or Canterbury Bells and how to grow and use this beautiful flower. Canterbury Bells or Campanula are a very showy flower and they're beautiful in the garden, great for florist work and also very loved by the pollinators, as you can see. I am going to go through all the different aspects of growing and using this flower, so by the end of this video you've walked away with a really great overview to help you get started or to learn more about this beautiful flower. Canterbury Bells are mainly a biennial flower. You can get varieties that are annuals, but what the biennial means is it'll take 2 years to grow. So you'll plant it in year 1, it won't flower until year 2. And that's what I've got here behind me. This is their second year. Canterbury Bells or Campanula are day length sensitive, which means they are taking cues from how much daylight we're having as to what stage they're going to operate at. They do seem to benefit from the cold, like the colder air that we have here while they're still small and in the ground. It seems to super boost them. And then once the daylight length gets to the right point, they will start sending up their flower stems, which once that starts happening, it's very, very fast. For a plant that is growing so slowly until it gets to that point, they'll then just take off, which is really cool to watch, like very amazing to see. And then they'll bloom. They are frost hardy. We've had them down to -6 degrees Celsius. We don't get much colder than that, so I don't know how much further you can push it. In saying how sort of sturdy and hardy they are when they're little, once they've got their flowers on it, they are a bit fragile. So the rain will cause damage to the petals. Obviously hail will, and they're also very sensitive to wind because they've got the stems are quite strong, but they're so tall and sort of top heavy with all the flowers that they will just blow over really quickly. We don't stake very much here on the farm at all, and I didn't stake these, and they've done pretty good. We've just had a pretty major storm and a lot of wind, so they've held up really well. But if you're in an area where you're prone to having your flowers and plants blow over, definitely once they start to throw up their flower stems, definitely start staking or corralling or flower netting, whatever it is that you use to secure your flowers, I'd put it on at that stage just to protect them, and especially along the edges. So they've got this tendency to flop out into the aisle and like into the walking row. So just to stop that as well, you can run a string line along the edges. Even if that's all you do, that will also help them stay upright. Because they sit in the ground for so long, they're so slow, depending on your soil and what your garden's like, it might be beneficial for you to fertilise them sort of as they're coming into their second season. And that's kind of when they're going to need that super boost to get their flower stem up and to produce the flowers. We didn't do that. What we did was when we first put them in the ground, we amended the soil with compost and manure. And then during the winter, we put leaf mulch on, around them. So that was enough sort of, organic matter for it to be, nourishing for the plants, but it just depends what you're going to need in your area and your soil. I've come into the shade for this because it's very hot right now, but this is what the seeds look like. You can save the seed from your plants. You just need to wait until they've finished flowering and the seed pods have fully developed and dried, and then you can collect them. If you are growing the Campanula or the Canterbury Bells in amongst your other garden, you can just leave them there. They'll self-sow and they'll come back in 2 years' time. But eventually, if you've planted them in year 1, you plant a fresh batch in year 2, they will then succession themselves. But if you're growing in rows for cut flower production or for some other reason, I just buy seed and I just keep them going that way. But what you want to do is you want to sow them at 3 millimeters, so it's not very deep, and it also needs to be between the temperatures of 18 and 22 degrees Celsius, and I'll put that in Fahrenheit up on the screen. So it's quite specific, and that's the soil temperature, not the air temperature. We sowed ours in a hothouse in the middle of winter. We're in Australia and it stays warm in there, but you might be able to, if you want to get a head start in other climates, because they're very slow to grow, put them on a heat pad and set the temperature and put some grow lights on, because they do take a very, very long time. They will stay tiny in the trays for months. In the end, I just plant them out. These ones I planted out, they were the tiniest little seedlings, and they sat in the ground tiny for months. It took so long. And then they just start to take off. The plants maybe got to about this big, and they sat like that until this spring when they just took off. So you do have to exercise some patience. They can take 3 weeks to germinate. So once you've sown the seeds, to wait until you see something coming out of the soil, it can be up to 3 weeks. So very, very slow growing plant in my experience. The other thing I've noticed about growing these from seed is it seems to be very ununiform. You know, I'll have really big seedlings amongst small ones. I just put them all out, plant them all out in the row, and eventually they kind of all catch up to each other and they end up the same size and they flower at the same time. So I don't know what it is, but they seem to be very all over the place when they're young with their growing habits. Depending on the heat and the sun, they can flower for 2 to 3 months once they actually start to flower, which is a really good window for such a pretty flower. Spacing of Canterbury Bells or Campanula, it's recommended about 30 centimetres, which you can tell I haven't done. We often condense our flowers much tighter because I like the look, and we don't have too many problems here with mildew and, you know, airflow sort of problems. But if you're in an area where mildew or disease is common, it's probably a good idea to stick to that 30 centimetre spacing. It'll just allow better airflow around the plants, and it also helps if you've got to pluck those plants up out of the ground. It can help having stopped the spread to other plants. They are a more delicate bloom, and because of the damage that rain can cause, I do think it's probably a good idea to grow them in a hothouse or a grow tunnel or a cocoon tunnel, something like that, just to protect them from the rain and the wind, especially if you're selling them to florists or using them for florist work. If they're in your own garden, it's fine. You can just sort of do whatever you want and they're enjoyable. I haven't had any pest issues. We have a lot of wallabies, kangaroos and rabbits here on the farm. They sort of took no interest in it. I didn't even have slug problems. And by the time the flowers are kind of getting going and the plant kind of beefs out a bit, they grow so fast. I almost thought, I don't think the slugs had time to even get on there. I'll show you the harvest stage, but first what I want to say is for florist use, they are an excellent flower. They've got a really good vase life. If they're fresh and picked at the right stage, which I'll tell you in a minute, they last up to about 2 weeks, which is really, really good for a cut flower, especially a delicate sort of looking flower like this. They usually come at the floral wholesaler, they come packaged in 5 stems. And they're a bit more of an expensive flower per stem. They're around $3, $3.50 per stem wholesale. They do have pretty good bang for their buck though. Long vase life, there's plenty of blooms, and when I show you how to pick them, the rest will open up. So that's what's sort of giving you the longer vase life. Have a look now at the best stage to harvest. Essentially what you want is where the bells, there's just 1 or 2 bells open, and they'll start to open from top and go down the stem. So you're just looking, and if it's got multiple branches on a stem, you want to look for the ones that just have sort of 1, maybe 2 bells open on each little piece. So I'll show you how that looks. This one's really nice. You can see that it's just got that 1 bell at the top. This one's okay. It's just got 1 at the top, and then there's another random one starting to open down here. This is another great example. It's got multiple stems, but on each stem there's just 1 bell open at the top. I'm just trying to be really careful because we've got bees everywhere. Picking at this stage, the flowers are too open. They're going to just sort of be spent much sooner. Whereas this stage, we can see most of the bells are actually closed on each stem. And this is the perfect stage, or even a little bit earlier than this is fine too. With Canterbury Bells or Campanula, you can cut low and then the plant can send up more shoots with more flower stems. The only caveat to this is in warmer climates, you may not actually have time to get another stem of flowers growing if the weather heats up quickly, or it's, you know, just your climate where it's not going to work. So for some people you'll just get the 1 stem. Others you might get some more. The other thing you can do is in sort of late winter, I found, when it starts to want to send up or starts to elongate from the middle. Doesn't quite look like a flower stem, it's elongating. You can snip that off and plant will then throw up more than one stem. I didn't do that, so all of mine are just one stem, and I'm going to experiment with that, but that is how you're going to get more stems. So it's essentially pinching. I hope this has been helpful. I hope that it'll encourage you to go out and grow Campanula Canterbury Bells, or if you're already growing it, I hope you've learned something extra, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.